everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Amy. I'm a knitter from the UK, specifically from Wales. I love talking about all things knitting, and this is my second podcast, so if you are interested in what I've been working on, what my thoughts are, all things knitting, I talk about all things patterns, yarns, everything, then keep watching. So I want to talk a little bit about what I'm wearing today, which is a sweater that I made for my husband for Christmas last year. So this is the Zipper Sweater Man by PetiteKnit. Definitely having a PetiteKnit moment, as I see on Ravelry and Instagram, as are lots of people. But this is a zipper sweater that I made for him for Christmas last year. So it is a top plack down, features raglan sleeves, so raglan increases, and a zipper fastening at the front. Then you connect in the round, and it is just rounds and rounds and rounds of stockinette stitch, which was just dreamy to knit. I didn't have to think about it, and it flew off the needles. Now the yarn I used for this was a combination of Berger de France yarns. I'll put them in the description box because I can't remember. Berlin, I think, is the wool. But anyway, I bought the yarn for a completely different project several years ago. I think it was about 2015, and it was a beautiful cable knit up the front, shawl collar. He chose the pattern and loved it. So I knitted the front up to the under, as per the instructions, and I was knitting the back up to the underarms, and I thought, that's not going to fit him. So I blocked the two pieces, held them together on his body, and it was like skin tight. So I was like, no, we can't have that. So I frogged it, I cast on again, and I knit up to about here and noticed a mistake that I'd made with the cables right at the very bottom, because it was a bottom up pattern, and I just frogged it again, and I was so cross with myself, with the pattern, with everything about this project, that I frogged it all, put the yarn in a drawer, and completely forgot about it for several years. And then last year I wanted to make him another sweater, and I was looking around for yarns. I wanted to make him this sweater, I wanted to make him the zipper sweater, and I happened across this yarn in the drawer, and I thought, I did some calculations and thought I would have enough, which I did. This is all I had left over from the yarn that I had stashed. So I tend to, when I'm working with two yarns together, sometimes I'll just use them straight from the ball, but more often than not, I will wind them together, because I find it easier to work from one cake than to have two balls jiggling around, especially because I have small children, and I quite often have my knitting like in a bag. Or I'm knitting on the side of a swimming pool or the side of a football pitch, or at kids' parties or in cafes, so I just prefer to have everything a bit more. Anyway, that's a different story. So this is all I have left. So it is a black mohair and a brown wool. And together, I really like the effect that they make, this sort of mild effect. I really enjoy that. So yeah, this is the Zipper Sweater Man. It is very warm. It's a very nice pattern. I think I would definitely make another one for him. I'm quite tempted to make the Dagmar for him next, or perhaps just another zipper in blue. I haven't decided yet, but he's definitely going to get some more PetiteKnit Man patterns, because I have really enjoyed this one. So I have one finished project for this week, which is the Ingrid Sweater, again by PetiteKnit. So this one, you start on the back yoke. Here it is. So you start on the back yoke, you pick up for the shoulders, knit down, connect in the round, and keep going in pattern. I have really enjoyed making this one. I have really enjoyed that at each stage you have something else to look forward to. So if you are getting a little bit tired of doing the 2x2 rib, you're like, hey, it's fine, got some double moss stitch coming. And then you have that stage and you think, oh, just a few more rows and then I'll be on the lattice stitch. So there's lots of elements going on here. It really kept my interest. It really kept me motivated and engaged. And I knit this actually pretty quickly for me. I'm a mum, I have two very small children. I quite often am making things for them, and when I do have knitting time, so to make myself a whole sweatshirt in, or a jumper in, I think it was about a month. For me, that's really quick, because I also work full time. But that's just testament to how much I enjoyed making this pattern. I bought the yarn for the colour. I absolutely love this colour. It is it's the wrong yarn for the pattern really. It's the palette yarn by Knit Picks, and I held it double, so I held 2 strands of it together to get a double knit gauge. The gauge was a little on the small side, so I sized up the jumper, but I'm really happy with the results. I would definitely make this again. I know lots of people have had issues with the sleeves, with the decreases for sleeves. I didn't really think it was that much of an issue. Sure, when you look on the underarm of the sleeve, you have one diamond that is bigger. Can you see it here? And one that is smaller. But you're also working with a triangle, so I really don't mind that. The only thing I wish I did differently is not do these, the lattice part here, so it was a clean diamond, but I don't think I care about it that much, to be honest. It's on the underside of my arm. Nobody's going to see it. So yeah, I was really happy, really happy with this pattern, and I love wearing this jumper. I've hardly taken it off since I finished making it. So that's the only finished item I've got this week, but I have got a few WIPs that I want to talk about. So the first WIP, which I think I was making on the last podcast, is the Moby Sweater that I'm making for my son. Here in this sort of grey, blue-grey colour. Again, I really enjoy working with structure, with cables, with texture. So this has absolutely been delightful for me to work on. And as you can see, I have finished the body. I just have the sleeves to go. So he's really pleased with that. He tried it on and it looks good. So yeah, there's that one. Now the yarn I'm using for this one, again, is stash yarn that I'm trying to use up. So a few years ago, I placed a huge order with Berger de France. They were having a sale, so I just grabbed a load of yarn that I thought I'll definitely use, and I didn't use it. So I have a very different attitude to yarn and how I buy it and how I keep it. And these days, I tend to only buy yarn just before I'm ready to cast on the project, because I don't like having a huge stash of yarn hanging around in my house. But I do still have, and I'm working my way through some of this Berger de France yarn. So this is the Ideal Cendra, I think it's called. It is a worsted wool and acrylic mix, and it is a DK weight. So again, probably a little bit light for the Moby, because I think it works up as being a very heavy DK or a light worsted weight gauge. But I just made the size bigger. He'll grow into it, it'll be fine. Now if I was making it for me, I would definitely do a gauge swatch and I would definitely use different yarn. But for kids, they grow so quickly that I don't really mind that much. So yes, this is the yarn I'm using. The colour, I don't know the name of it, but the number is 24241. And it's this sort of smoky, bluey, grey blue, like steel blue, I guess, I don't know. It's lovely and soft, which is the acrylic in it. I tend, again, I bought this yarn probably 2014, 2015 maybe. I tend to use a lot less acrylic now than I did before, or yarns with nylons and things in, which is just personal preference. But I do use acrylic blend yarns for my children, because I guarantee you he's going to sit down and have a mouthful of pasta and all the sauce will go down the front, and I'm going to need to be able to wash this. So the things that I make for my children, I tend to use in yarns that I know are machine washable, with the exception of the next project I'm going to show you. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this pattern. I really like this lattice stitch. So I did it on the Ingrid, and again here I now really want to make myself a Moby. My son really likes it. I'm not really sure if he's going to wear it. He asked for it specifically. We were looking through patterns and he said, yep, that's the one that I want. So I've made it for him, but I don't know. We'll see. I tend to knit because I really enjoy the process of knitting. If somebody wears what I make for them, that makes me feel incredible. And if they don't, doesn't matter. I'll move it on to somebody who will enjoy wearing it. But yeah, so that's the Moby Junior that I have been making. So just the sleeves to go with that one. Okay, the next work in progress I have is also a PetiteKnit pattern. I really, honestly, I do knit from other designers. I'm just definitely, I only found her about 4 or 5 months ago, and I've just bought so many of her patterns because they're practical. I really enjoy the way they look. So I'm sorry, it's another PetiteKnit pattern. This time is for my daughter. So this is the Junior, the Cloud Sweater Junior. And I'm making it in age 7 to 8. So she's currently wearing size 6 to 7, but you know, I'm hoping it'll fit her in the winter. So again, as you can see, I finished the body. I just need to finish the sleeves. So I finished the body, I think, was it last night? And she's tried it on. It has plenty of room, so that's great. And I think the sleeves will, hopefully they'll just fly because they're little. That is the best thing about knitting children's clothing, is it just grows so quickly. You know, a day or 2 days and you've got yourself a whole garment. So I am really enjoying this pattern. So this one, again, you start at the back, you knit down, pick up for sleeves, do a little bit of shaping around the front, join in the round, and then it's just stockinette stitched all the body. And it has this really beautiful rolled collar here, and the same feature on the bottom. So you have this ribbing to stop it from curling all the way, and then this really beautiful rolled edge. She absolutely loves pink, my daughter does, and chose the yarn shade herself. So for this I'm using Drops Air here, and this is in the colour Strawberry Ice Cream. So it is a medium thick blown yarn of baby alpaca and merino wool. So this one is not machine washable. However, I don't care. it's so soft. So she is not as messy as my son, and I hand wash quite a lot of my knits. So this is the first children's item of clothing that I've ever made that is not machine washable. So I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm hoping it'll be all right. I'm hoping, look, if I find that I need to machine wash all of my knits and that they're getting absolutely trashed, the children's knits that I make, I'll just switch back to using machine washable knits. But I just really loved this yarn. I really loved the colour. She really loved the colour. Her face, when she tried this on, her face lit up like a Christmas tree. So if I make it and I can't wash it, then we'll just save it for special occasions. But going back to the yarn, the suggested yarn for the pattern is Cos. The suggested yarn for the pattern is Cos by Sandnes Garn. And when I priced it up, it came to about £90 for the size that I wanted to make, British pounds that is, which I just felt was a little, I didn't want to pay that knowing that she's probably only going to get a year's wear out of it. So I went on this amazing website. I don't know if you've heard of it before. It's called YarnSub. You type in the yarn that the pattern recommends, and it has a whole host of alternatives that that you could use as a replacement for the yarn. And this is a yarn that I hadn't heard of before, but I put in Sandnes Garn Cos, and this came up. So I bought this from Wool Warehouse, which is an online wool retailer in the UK, and it arrived a couple of days later. So I'm really pleased with it so far. We'll wait and see how it washes. Hopefully it'll wash well, because she also wants a yellow jumper. So they do have a really beautiful, I think it's called Lemonade. So we'll see if this one stands up and, you know, washes well and is comfortable. I think it's amazingly soft, and I could definitely wear this. She, when she tried it on, didn't complain that it was itchy, so we'll see. But yeah, so I could be using this again in the future. We'll see how this one goes. So yeah, that is the Cloud Sweater Junior. Okay, the next WIP that I'm working on has broken my heart a little bit. It is the Porcelain Sweater by PetiteKnit. It is a project that I have been wanting to cast on since September. I mean, a long time. And I finally did it. I ordered the yarn. I was very excited. I am using the recommended yarn for the pattern in the recommended colours for the pattern. It doesn't happen very often because quite often I substitute yarns for patterns, as you can see, but from today I don't think I've used the recommended yarn for the pattern once so far. But I saw the picture, I saw the model wearing it, and I just thought that is the one that I need in my wardrobe. So I didn't want to substitute anything. I used the same colours, the same yarn, the same everything, which is PetiteKnit by Sandnes Garn and the Tin Silk Mohair. So this is the shade Jolly Blue, and this is the shade, I've got the number, 2641. I believe it's Marzipan. I believe it's Marzipan. So these are the colours that I'm wearing, and I bought this from the website SKD Yarns in the UK. It arrived really quickly, and I have, again, put it into cakes because, you know, when you're doing colour work, that would be four balls of yarn bobbing around all over the place. So I tend to wind them together, and I also tend to put them on one of these. So I will have like my main colour in one hand, the blue I have in the other hand. Actually, I think, do I have it here? Yes, here we go. And then I can knit with nothing dragging on the floor, and everything stays nice and neat. So that is what I have been using for my porcelain sweater, and I have been thoroughly enjoying the process. I love this sweatshirt. It is so soft. I really have been enjoying the colour work, but I've made a mistake. Oh, as happens, that's life. I know it happens, but I have missed a row on my leaves. So I'm going to have to frog back. I'm probably going to frog back to here, this line of blue, and start again. So I haven't really worked on this one very much because the next thing I need to do with it is to frog it. Not all of it, but enough just to make me feel sad. So I'm knitting this one on 4mm needles. I'm using the Knit Pro Nova. They are my absolute favourite needles. I don't think I spoke about needles in the other projects, but I use a lot of Knit Pro. Do you know what? I could talk for ages about needles, so I'm just going to stop there. But if you're interested in the equipment that I use, let me know and I will make a video on that. So yes, the Porcelain Sweater by PetiteKnit. I'm not going to get it done in time to wear this winter. This is absolutely going to be a project for the autumn, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I just think it is so beautiful. It is so soft. This is absolutely something that I want to have in my wardrobe. So I will be frogging it, and maybe today's the day that it's going to happen now that I've spoken about it publicly. But yeah, so I'm going to frog that last bit of colour work that I've done and redo it, because I would rather frog and have it perfect than leave it in there, because then I won't want to wear it. And the final WIP, because 3 big jumpers obviously isn't enough, I have finally cast on for myself, I'm so excited, the Dagmar Zipper Woman. So the yarn I'm using, let's start there. I really loved the ethos behind, so when I was looking into the pattern, I looked at the yarn that she was using, which was a Norwegian brand, who, you know, there's lots of shots of PetiteKnit on the farms with the sheep. The ethos very much around the yarn is keep it local, keep it rustic, and I absolutely loved that. And I very nearly ordered the yarn. I was so close. I was at the checkout and I was ready to go, and then I thought, I actually don't want to order from abroad and have that yarn shipped over. I want my Dagmar to be made from UK based yarn. I probably should have got Welsh wool, but I didn't. What I got was this incredible West Yorkshire Spinners fleece. It's the Bluefaced Leicester. I don't know if you've ever seen a Bluefaced Leicester sheep in real life, but they are so cute. Honestly, they're adorable. So this, and usually you get light Bluefaced Leicester sheep and dark Bluefaced Leicester sheep. So they've obviously taken a little bit of this fleece and a little bit of that fleece to make this beautiful light brown colour. I have purchased 10 hanks of the Aran. Here, don't know if you can see that colour. So this has 166 meters per 100 gram hank. And okay, so the suggested yarn, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm going to have a go. Heelholt Triple by Heelholt Alder Spinderry. Oh, I'm butchering that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's a really beautiful yarn, a very rustic yarn. And in a 100 gram hank of the suggested yarn is 165 meters. This is 100 grams of British yarn, and it's got 166 meters for a 100 gram hank. So the gauge for the suggested yarn is... So the gauge for the suggested yarn is 18 stitches and 24 centimeters, and this one is 18 stitches and 24 rows, so for a 10 centimeter square. So the gauge on paper is exactly the same. When I did my gauge swatch, it was exactly the same. The meterage is almost exactly the same, and the ethos of the yarn is almost exactly the same. So I am not anticipating there being fit issues with this yarn instead. It's really beautiful, it's really soft, and I cannot wait to get started. Well, actually, that's not true. I could wait to get started, and I did get started. So last night, I cast on my Dagmar sweater, but I'm going to have to frog it. Oh, again. That word has cropped up so much today because I have made an error here. One of my cables has gone the wrong way. And usually what I would do is drop the stitches, correct the cable, and just do it again. But I think given that I've only done an inch, I did it, it was quite late last night when I did this little piece, and I'm just going to rip it out and start again. I would just, but I think in the time it would take me to drop the stitches and recorrect it all, I could just reknit the whole thing, so I'm going to do that. If I had knitted a substantial part of it, obviously I wouldn't do that. I am making it on 4.5mm needles, and yeah, so I have just started at the back and I've just done this little bit. So that's where I'm at with the Dagmar zipper. I'm really excited. Like I said, I love texture, I love cables, I love structure, I love all the intricate work that is done. I think I prefer this kind of knit to a Colourwork knit, but I still really enjoy a Colourwork knit, don't get me wrong. So I have lots going on and plenty to be keeping me busy for this week with all those WIPs. But so, okay, that's that. Wittard, you really know how to make tea. So this is a green tea by a company called Wittard in the UK, and it is the mango infused with mango and bergamot, and it is heavenly. Okay, so acquisitions. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about today is acquisitions. So I have recently acquired some of the Sandnes Garn pattern books. I was thinking about all the things that I could do with my leftover bits of yarn and my scrappy bits of yarn. Like this, so I will keep a small amount of this to do any repairs that might be necessary for the jumper, you know, if it gets any holes or anything, that I can fix it. But there is enough here to do something else with, not enough for anything like a hat or anything like that. So I really wanted to buy it, not just with that yarn, but with every project I make, there always seems to be like a little bit left over, and I never want to get rid of it, and I never really know what to do with it. So if there's enough left over, I will make something like a stripy hat or something like that for my children. But occasionally there is a quantity left that I just don't know what to do with. So I really wanted to get the Christmas book by Sandnes Garn because it has a couple of patterns in there, like this beautiful star. How cute is that? And where's the other one that I wanted to show you? It was a little love heart, like Christmas tree decorations. That's what I'm trying to say, or Christmas tree. If you don't live in the UK, I think people call them ornaments, but I definitely call them Christmas tree decorations. So, oh, this one. So with all of those little bits of scrappy leftover yarn, you can make, I wanted to start making little Christmas tree decorations. My mum would definitely love those on her tree. And I think for me, it would be really lovely at Christmas time to hang decorations made with everything that I've knitted that year. I don't know if it's just a romantic idea, but I'm obsessed with it. I really love the idea of it. And these two, specifically the star, I really like the star, are things that I would like to make. So so I picked up the Christmas book by Sandnes Garn. I also really love, there's a mother-daughter pattern in here. So the sweatshirt that the little girl is wearing on the front there. And then there's the pattern for the mum, and I really love the thought of doing that. I don't know if I actually will get round to it, but I like the idea of that. And I also picked up the PetiteKnit Sandnes Garn book, this one, and I got this one for, what's the name of the jumper? Ginsa, I think. Where is it? Yes. For this sweatshirt. Oh, sorry, for the Guernsey sweatshirt. It's called the Guernsey sweatshirt. So they have this really beautiful, so I think I was really attracted to it because I really enjoyed making the Ingrid, and this one I think is quite similar. It has some variation, obviously. This cabled portion here is different, but the lattice section is much bigger, and it doesn't have those panels of double rib, but it is finished in double rib. So I'm really attracted to this pattern. And I picked this book up because it has the male and the female pattern in it. I didn't realise when I picked it up that it also has the child version. That's why I bought this one. But anyway, I love flicking through patterns and looking at patterns. So I have acquired these books since the last podcast, and there's a man's version. I'm not sure if my husband would possibly find it slightly on the feminine side. I think it would look amazing on him in like a deep blue, like a royal blue or a navy blue. I don't know, maybe he needs to see mine before he decides. But so it's, the recommended yarn for it is PetiteKnit with alpaca follow draw, which I haven't used before. I haven't used the alpaca follow draw before, so I will probably make my sweatshirt before I make one for my children, just to check it's not too itchy. But I think based on the gauge you could probably use something like the Sunday, or an alternative for the Sunday, like possibly Drops Daisy or something like that. But I will I'll do some experimenting and let you know. But yeah, so I've just really enjoyed that pattern. And I also really enjoy the Kelly sweatshirt at the front. This one, I really like the way that the raglan has these, the rib section. So the raglan is a rib section. So I'm really excited about those books. And like I said, I bought the children's version because I didn't realise that it had the children's version of the pattern in there. But it does have some lovely patterns in here, so it won't be wasted. I just love looking through pattern books anyway. So the other acquisitions that I have had since the last time I filmed is, oh gosh, I had a bit of a nightmare. So having really enjoyed making my son's Moby, I wanted to get the yarn to make myself one. So I ordered some double Sunday in the shade Marzipan, enough to make the Moby sweatshirt. However, the quantity stated on the website was not all the same dye lot. So I was really appreciative of the company who emailed me and said, they're not all the same dye lot. Would you be happy with that, or would you like to substitute? So I was like, no, that needs to be the same dye lot. So I'd really like to substitute, please. Now on the website, Marzipan and this one that I'm holding look very similar. And I'm not sure if it's the photograph, I'm not sure if it's the settings on my monitor. They looked ever so slightly, this one ever so slightly deeper, just a touch. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. Swap it for 2351, which is this shade. That won't be a problem. Because in the meantime, I had ordered the Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the shade Marzipan to go with my Marzipan double Sunday. And that was coming directly from the Knitting for Olive website. So as you can see there, Marzipan. So they both arrived about the same time. And I knit up a gauge swatch, which this combination, guys, if you have not tried this combination, you just have to. It is so soft. I don't think I have ever knit with such a soft combination. This combination is delightful. The only issue that I have now is I don't like the way that the mohair and the colour of the Sunday, so the combination, 10 out of 10. The colours, I don't enjoy them. So you can see on my gauge swatch, you can see how the Marzipan, the soft silk mohair, you can see strands of it running through, which I don't love. So what I need to do is try and get them the same colour. So I think, I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I haven't decided whether to return the soft silk mohair and get a darker colour. I think there's one, maybe Mushroom Rose. It looks like it might be, I'm sure it's called Mushroom Rose. Anyway, that looks like it might be the right shade to go with the double Sunday I have, or whether to order some double Sunday in Marzipan and match that with the soft silk mohair. I had thought that that is probably what I'm going to do, is reorder the double Sunday in Marzipan, because this, I have started thinking that I really want to make the Salty Days sweater by Kutukovika. I'll try and put an image of it on the screen somewhere for you, but oh my gosh, that pattern is gorgeous. Do I need another cabled structured sweatshirt? Probably not. Am I going to make it? I probably am, because it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I think it will look really good in this shade of double Sunday. So I'm probably going to keep this. I'm probably going to make the Salty Days sweatshirt out of it. And I'm probably going to order some more Marzipan to go with my soft silk mohair for my Moby. But I haven't decided yet. And I think that's it for this week. I don't think there's anything else that I wanted to discuss or offer up for conversation. Always really happy to answer any questions you have. So Do leave a comment if you like this, if you like my podcast. Do like it, do subscribe. It really helps the channel and lets me know that you want me to continue making content. So yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, then please like, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thank you.